It is the year 1182 in Assisi, a small town in Italy. It is in this setting that we meet Pia, a kind young woman who was expecting her first child. Yes, she was very happy, but she felt that there was something different. The presence of her little son in her womb seemed to bring a silent invitation to become more involved with the gospel. She invites the monk to her home to learn more about the teachings of Jesus.
The way Jesus lived his life is the answer to all our problems.
12 years later, in the same city, we meet Hortolana, a young woman also very religious, who was expecting a sweet baby girl. In her prayers, she hears that a light brighter than the day itself would be born. And that is how her little daughter came to be called Clara. The years went by, and now we see the young Francis, Pia's son.
Let me carry this basket of clothes for you, ma'am.
Son, you don't need to take those clothes downstairs. In a little while, Joanna will come up and get all the clothes that need to be washed.
But for Francis, serving others was something that made him radiant.
Mr. Genaro, let me take it inside the shop for you. Wow, that basket of clothes was really heavy to carry. Mom, I brought these groceries for you.
He loved helping so much that he was always attentive and sensitive to his mother's needs with the housework.
Thank you, son. But your father doesn't like to see you in the kitchen.
Wherever he was, Francis did everything he could to put himself at the service of others, always aiming to help someone. At his father's shop, he helped those who worked there with joy and dedication. At school, Francis also knew how to help. He noticed the needs around him and shared what he had with his friends.
Francis, can I borrow your notes later? I forgot my materials at home. Giacomo, you can keep my materials. I have a spare set.
Around that time, some men from Assisi were planning to invade Perugia, a nearby city. And Francis's father quickly took action to see his son become a knight.
Your time has come, my son.
Wanting to make his father happy, Francis set out for his place, the war. They won the battle, but he was not happy. Being at war, being a knight, this was his father's dream. But it brought no peace to his heart. On his return to Assisi, nature seemed to invite him to look deeper within himself and reflect on his path. Some time later, the men from Perugia, who had lost the war, returned, and the conflict began anew. Francis was once again called to fight, but this time his opponents won, and he, along with other men, was taken captive. While in prison, Francisco became a brother and a friend to other prisoners. After a year, his father manages to pay for his ransom, and Francis finally returns home.
My son,
He returns to his daily routine.
Good morning, Miss Clara. Can I help you?
good morning, thank you very much. And
Meet the young Clara. Just as her mother had heard during her pregnancy, she grew into a kind and humble-hearted young woman. Even though she was rich and possessed many things, Clara shared what she had, offering bread and her care to those who suffered. She was going even to the homes of those in need.
I need to visit Mr. Alfredo and Mrs. Angelica.
And like a friend, she dined with them, sharing her own food. Around this time, Francis will go to Rome seeking answers. He thirsted for the gospel. and thought that there he could find more about the teachings of Jesus. At the church door, he feels he will find Jesus in the people who need help.
Good afternoon, sir. Can I help you?
Francisco helps everyone with his money, but something else happens. Deeply moved by the pain of these people, he exchanges clothes with one of them. He gives everything he has. Upon his return, his mother quickly covers him so his father wouldn't see their son dressed that way.
Francisco, what happened? What are those clothes?
However, even with his new clothes, something inside Francisco had changed. One day, while taking a walk, he encounters a leper. And what once caused him fear and repulsion had now been transformed.
Thank you, sir. My hands hurt a lot. That's why I couldn't get up. My son, I had a dream that showed me the future. I saw you as a knight.
Once again wanting to serve his father, Francisco goes to enlist to take part in a new battle. While he was on his way, his mind was elsewhere. He was deeply reflecting on what to do to change the course of his life.
And that night, something happened that would forever change his path.
Francisco, who is better to serve? The master or the servant? The Lord. The Lord.
My son, you're back? What happened?
I heard a voice, Mom.
Now, more than ever, Francisco knew how much he wanted to serve only the Lord. As he was thinking about this, he saw a poor church with no resources, and he had no doubt he needed to help it. He went to his father's workshop and carefully took all the various fabrics he thought would no longer be useful for sale in Assisi. So, with several fabrics, he went to another nearby city, and this started to draw the attention of people wherever he went. Overjoyed, he sold at cost price, trying to gather some money to help the poor little church.
Father, this money is for you to do everything you need for this church.
During this same period, Francisco increased his visits to the Valley of the Lepers. He brought everything they needed to ease their physical pain, but above all, the pain in their souls.
If we live as Jesus lived, our burden will become light and our yoke will become easy.
How did Jesus teach? By the way he lived, responding to all adversity and all the wrongs done to him with goodness.
I brought this fabric for you, man. It's gonna be cold today.
God bless you.
Meanwhile, Clara attentively watched Francis's actions, feeling deeply moved and truly captivated by this remarkable way of living. Francis only saw and felt the good that needed to be done for each person. However, one day his father returned from a trip. Is it
true that my son Francis took several pieces of fabric and went out to sell them? Has he gone crazy? I'm gonna talk to the bishop. I want my money back. My son has really gone crazy. Now he actually hangs out with lepers and sells my things.
In the town square, Francis carefully gives all of the money back to his father.
Look, everyone, my son has gone crazy. And
even though that unforgettable scene shocked and surprised many people, anyone with eyes to truly see could easily recognize the unmistakable presence of the Lord in every single step Francis took. Now, he didn't even have a single stone to rest his head on. He became like a bird of the sky, trusting that God would provide for him each day. Meanwhile, Claire devoted all of her time, energy, and her very life to selflessly serving those who had absolutely nothing. Her deeply sensitive and compassionate heart reached out to women and mothers, always helping and supporting them in their needs. After being rejected by his father and left with no rights or family possessions whatsoever, Francis began to serve in a monastery as a humble kitchen helper, performing simple daily tasks. Even though he had already changed his way of living, Francis still felt that the experience in the monastery did not completely fulfill him. That was the moment when he remembered his brothers who were suffering with leprosy. They had absolutely no one, were despised by everyone around them, and needed everything. His heart lights up warmly. He understands that this would be his new home, the Valley of the Lepers.
I'm thirsty.
Francis begins to live among the lepers, helping and caring for them every day, but their needs were so many and so overwhelming. Inspired, he comes up with the idea to start working in order to earn resources, and with that, to help out with everything they needed.
Good morning, Mrs. Julia. If you do not mind, can I do something for you in exchange for some food?
You arrived at just the right time. I needed help with the task of fetching water.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Julia, for this bread.
Despite the help he received, many people were still outraged by his behavior, especially his decision to live among the lepers. Francisco's actions create a buzz in the city, and everyone talks about it in their own way.
Clara, everyone is saying that Francisco has gone crazy. He works in exchange for anything, and they say he's taken everything to the lepers.
Hasn't. The way I see it, he was crazy when he went to war. Now it seems to me that he's following his heart more and more.
Winter arrives in Assisi, and Clara fondly remembers some of her siblings, who would certainly be feeling very cold at this particular time of year. Thinking carefully about their needs, she thoughtfully sews warm clothes to take to these siblings. She arrived at the place. Imagine her surprise to find Francisco there.
Francisco, it's so good to see you. What are you doing here?
I've been living here for a while now, Clara.
She hands over clothes and the blanket that warmed their bodies, but it was her heart that offered the greatest comfort these brothers and sisters received. Accompanied by her cousin, Clara talks with Francisco to understand why he is living that way. Her heart seemed to be more and more drawn to this beautiful and inspiring ideal, and she found herself wanting to know even more about it.
But Francisco, why are you living here?
Clara, since I was young, I've been trying to understand how to live my life following the teachings of Jesus. You must remember that he said he did not come to be served, but to serve. Well then, I reflected for a long time to understand what it meant to serve in the way Jesus lived, because the way Jesus lived is a living lesson for me. And I realized that every act of service he performed, in all its different forms and ways, was done with the feeling that the person he was serving was the most loved, the dearest to his heart. So I discovered that the essential part of serving is not the act itself, but the feeling behind it. In other words, it's not about what, but how are we doing this act of service?
Even more inspired by Francisco's words, she begins to help out with more chores at home, taking on a few extra tasks as well.
Your father's gonna fire me, Clara. If he finds out you're doing my job.
Cousin, calm down. Don't worry. I would never do anything that could harm you, even though my father made you do things for me. And as far as I'm concerned, I've never seen or felt anything for you other than as a beloved sister. Do you remember our last meeting with Francisco? Cousin, I never wanted to be served, you know that. And now I've been reflecting on how much I also want to live my life serving others. I still don't know how or in what way, but my heart truly wants to serve with that feeling Francisco told us about.
Seeking to better understand the Lord's will for her life and future path, Clara goes to church and prays sincerely.
A church in ruins.
Near the Valley of the Lepers, there was an abandoned church called San Damiano. It was there that people with leprosy would go to pray, or simply to look at the crucifix on the church altar. In the midst of their pain, for many, it was the house of the Lord.
Francis, go and rebuild my beloved church, which, as you can see, is currently in a state of disrepair and ruin.
Have you seen what Pietro Bernardone's son is doing?
Ma'am, that young Francis has gone completely mad.
Francis was the talk of the town. Some saw him as a madman, others with pity.
Francis, I heard you're rebuilding a little church. Look, you can have this little cardamom.
But one heart in particular was moved to the very depths of its soul. Look, cousin, Francis has taken stones and sand to that little church in ruins. Moved by the ideal of service, Francis understood that he needed to rebuild the house of Jesus. So great was his desire to bring Jesus to these brothers who suffered so much that he himself would accompany them to the little church and then back to the valley where they lived. His heart strongly evokes Jesus, remembering how he cared for those who were also despised.
I need to find Francis and understand what is happening to him. Francis, my friend, I need your help.
Bernard, it's so good to see you.
3 years had passed since the day Francis completely changed his way of life. During this period, Bernard, who was his friend, sought to be closer to Francis to understand what was happening to him. Looking for a reason to have his friend nearby, Bernard asked for help to organize one of the rooms in his large house. Francis joyfully fulfilled his friend's request, serving him with affection, and that night would be unforgettable.
Jesus, thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to be with my dear friend Bernard. I'm so happy I can be here, serving him in these small tasks. Often, Lord, the way of life our society imposes ends up pushing us away from you. And so I pray, Lord, sustain my dear friend, so that wherever he may be, his heart may be turned towards you. May he seek you, Lord, desire your company, your presence, to be by your side and walk with you. As if we were in those radiant days of Capernaum when you were among us, and those who hungered and thirsted for your light came to you. May he have that hunger, that thirst for you.
When he hears his friend's prayer, he feels a peace he would never forget. The next morning, Bernard begins to see Francis not just as a friend, but as a brother in ideals. He wants to join him and follows his friend to the Valley of the Lepers. It was then that Bernard felt something he had never experienced in his life, the joy of serving. They spend the afternoon talking, and Bernard asks his friend what to do now.
Francis, I've never felt so good. Something fills me now that I can't explain.
Ah, I understand, Bernard. You know, I've been reflecting a lot on how Jesus lived his life. And what moves me most is how he lived, serving everyone. And that is the path I want to follow, serving but seeking to see each person I serve as a dearly loved brother or sister. And I can tell you, dear friend, that ever since, I felt something different inside me, something that has given meaning to my life and fills me like nothing ever has before.
Here it says, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.
He no longer has any doubts. He would be by Francis's side until the end. And soon, another friendly heart arrives.
Francis, Bernard, I want to join you. Will you have me? My dear friend Peter. Of course.
As Bernard and Peter walked and talked happily, an interested gaze followed them.
My God, did I really see that? They are happy to serve. I must meet them. Francis, my name's Giles.
May I join you?
Of course. Welcome, Brother Giles.
One day, Francis and Giles went to a nearby city. At the entrance, they found an elderly woman in need of help. The friends then looked for a job where they could serve in exchange for something material to offer the lady. The help was offered and also observed by another heart that longed for this way of life.
Hi, could I join you? I saw what you did for that lady. Yes, what's your name? Crispinian.
Claire now helped Francis and his brothers in every way she could. She felt, without knowing how, like a sister in their ideals. Now Francis had a small group of brothers who, just like him, sought to live the gospel with a contagious joy. Claire already served her younger brothers, but now, seeing that others were joining Francis, she couldn't contain her happiness and thought that maybe she could be with them too. However, the next day...
Claire, we have excellent news for you. Your mother and I have already decided who you will marry.
In her prayers, Claire understood what her way of life should be. She would not be like a sister who stands beside him, but like a mother who cares for and supports her beloved children. The next morning, radiant, Claire went to talk to Francis about her reflections. They had arranged for her to leave the house at night through a hidden door so she couldn't be seen. Peter met her on the way, accompanying her safely to the little church of San Damiano.
She desired to serve the Lord, and a family she formed by the hands of Francis, who always guided her. In lowliness of heart, she did all things in love and sacred silence. She served the Lord above.
After consecrating herself, Clara was still being sought by her family, so Francisco took her to a monastery near Assisi.
Welcome, Sister Clara. We have been expecting you. I hope you had a good journey.
Yes, sister. It was peaceful.
May the Lord be with you.
And with you as well. At that time, Francisco already had some brothers who had joined him. They began living in small tents, serving the Lord day and night.
Brother Egidio, we truly need to serve with great joy in our hearts in other places.
Yes, Brother Francisco. We can leave today.
Our little brothers began to go to other regions beyond Assisi to serve in various ways. Usually the jobs that no one else wanted to do were left to them, but this spoke even more deeply to their hearts, for they would also be offering relief to the person. And how much greater was their joy when they could offer the fruit of this work to help those who had nothing. Yes, this was true Franciscan joy.
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring love. Where there is offense, let me bring forgiveness.
Where there is discord, let me bring unity. Where there is doubt, let me bring faith.
Where there is error, let me bring truth. Where there is despair, let me bring hope.
Where there is sadness, let me bring joy. Where there is darkness, let me bring light. O Master, I humbly grant that I may always seek more to console others than to be myself consoled.
To truly understand rather than simply to be understood. To love rather than to be loved.
For it is in giving that we receive, it is in forgiving that we are forgiven, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. To eternal life.
In Gubbio, there was a fierce wolf that lingered at the city gates, frightening everyone and making it difficult for the inhabitants to come and go.
Mrs. Paola, no one is able to leave the city.
Mr. Giuseppe, that fierce wolf is still prowling around our city.
Yes, we are indeed very much trapped inside our own city.
People say that animals like you drive away that fierce wolf and we will reward you.
I am here to serve in the name of the Lord. I will go to Brother Wolf.
Francis understood that bringing peace to the wolf would be a great benefit to those people. He prays to Jesus, asking for his help to speak with Brother Wolf so that he would not harm the inhabitants of the city. And something wonderful happens.
Do not be afraid anymore, brothers. Take good care of our brother, the wolf, and he will be a faithful and gentle companion.
The beggar calmed the wolf.
Really? And the reward?
He gave everything to the poorest.
Good morning. Can we help you with anything? In exchange for food? Yes, of course. Come with me.
This is all I seek for my life. And they live like this. I need to know why they are living this way.
After talking with the Franciscans, Anthony finds in this way of life his hidden Jesus, as he used to say.
I've made a decision. I want to join you in this way of life that reminds me so much of how Jesus lived.
We need to go to Assisi, Anthony, to speak with Francis.
Sometime later, Claire was able to return to Assisi, beginning her new way of life in the little church of San Damiano.
Sister Claire, my dear, look, you are home at last.
Her heart overflowed with joy when she saw that 3 dear sisters were waiting for her to be together serving the Lord.
Lord, today I begin a new life, and what I desire most in my heart is to follow your example, to serve and not to be served. An example that I now see reflected in the life of my dear brother, Francis. Ah, Jesus, I thank you for this sweet joy. To have 3 sisters to live with me, may I be able to serve them with all my heart and at every moment of our lives together.
Claire's prayer would become the most beautiful song, one that would enliven all her days, filling her heart and those of her spiritual sisters. The brothers who came to share Francis's same ideal grew more and more with each passing day. Now they are hundreds, and all of them set out from different cities, heading to Assisi for a meeting with Francis. Assisi would come to know and feel the Franciscan spirit in the presence of countless little brothers. Seeing that many brothers were without any provisions, several people from Assisi brought them food and supplies every day they stayed there, without anyone having to ask. It was the Franciscan spirit of service speaking loudly to their hearts.
Most high and glorious God, shine your light and scatter all the shadows in my heart. Grant me a steadfast faith. Grant me a certain hope and a perfect charity. Grant me, O Lord, I pray, a humble, lowly heart, wisdom and discernment too, so I may serve but you, living out on earth your holy, sacred will.
Brother Antonio, is that how I should address you?
Yes. Welcome to our family, Brother Antonio.
Thank you.
Brothers, the time has come for us to serve in other cities in the name of the Lord.
Yes, Brother Francis. Can I go with you?
Of course, Brother Giuseppe. Sisters, we are leaving. I know that Claire serves and cares for you like a loving mother. But if you need anything, speak to Bernardo. He will stay here in Assisi.
Thank you, brother.
Peace and all good, my sisters. Brother Graciano, can you call our brother Anthony to walk with you and your brothers? He is alone here and has no one to go with.
Ah, it would be a great joy, Brother Francis.
Brother Anthony, would you like to join our group of brothers? We are leaving now.
Yes, Brother Graciano. I am alone. I have nowhere to go.
Brothers, may the Lord guide us on our new path. See you soon, brothers. May God keep you safe on your journey. Wait a moment, my sister. We will help. Here it is for you.
After those days spent alongside Francis, the lesser brothers leave Assisi with renewed hearts. Francis invited them to give of themselves, serving as if that person were the one they loved most. And so, without a doubt, they would offer peace and goodness to everyone they met along the way.
Claire, this is Anna, my beloved sister.
Claire, may I join you? Of course, you are very welcome to our family, Sister Anna.
Claire also began to welcome other sisters who wished to live in that way, filled with the same Franciscan spirit. They would go into the city to help and assist, offering the little they had to those who needed it most. They walked long distances, barefoot, and returned to the church of San Damiano tired, with dirty and often wounded feet. Claire patiently waited at the door, diligently washing the tired feet of each and every one of her beloved sisters, not only soothing their physical pain and discomfort, but also gently enveloping their weary hearts in a profound and tender warmth with her compassionate care.
Here, my sister, this will do you good.
One day, Francis arrives in Arezzo and notices that the city was filled with complaints and quarrels.
No, he was here before you. I saw you pulling her daughter.
Always the same drama.
Careful.
No, you were the one who got the weight wrong. I saw you cheating on the scale.
Cheating? You've lost your mind. I only asked for what you owed me.
You make excuses when you lose.
I don't owe you anything.
This city is sick. Even in the morning, people are arguing over nothing.
Brother Giuseppe, let's find someone to serve. As you wish, Francisco.
Can we help you with anything, sir?
Go bother others, you beggars.
Let's pray for the whole city, Brother Giuseppe.
Francis and his brother prayed throughout the night, asking Jesus to bring peace to the hearts of those inhabitants. And the next day...
Need help?
Wow, you fell from heaven. Yes, I need help to get these sandals fixed.
Sometime later, Anthony and his brothers were invited to listen to a preacher speak about the gospel.
Brothers, we've been invited to an event at the church.
I can't believe it. The speaker who was going to talk about the gospel isn't coming anymore, and no one can replace him?
Talk to Graziano. Some Franciscan brother will come to our aid.
Brother Anthony, could you speak about the gospel at the church? No one wants to speak without prior preparation. You're the only one left.
Brother Graziano, I'm not able to do this.
As he always did, Anthony sought in prayer the answer he so desperately needed at that moment.
Lord, I am not able to do what they are asking of me. But if it is your will, may I be able to speak about your life, about your humble way of living to serve. Jesus teaches us in the Sermon on the Mount that we should do good discreetly, in such a way that our left hand does not know what our right hand has done. Now, why does he teach us this? Because otherwise we would be acting out of pride, wanting to show off in front of others. Jesus teaches us that we should not seek to be the greatest, but the least of all, the one who serves everyone.
The Crusades arrive. Francis becomes even more sensitive to all the kinds of suffering that war brings.
My husband died in the war, and I have no one left. I have no money. I have to beg for food so I don't die.
I will work and get food for you and your son. War is horrible. Only we are left. We need peace.
Moved by this deeply felt feeling, Francis proceeds to the Crusaders' camp in an effort to ask if they could peacefully reach a mutual agreement.
Let me see if I got this right. You want us to make a peace agreement with the Sultan? Look, I'll take you to the person in charge of this camp. There, you can talk to him about this peace.
Francis, don't be naive. We will win this war. If you want to talk to the Sultan about peace, go ahead.
Then he bravely set out for the vast Muslim territory to speak directly with the powerful Sultan, earnestly hoping that a lasting peace could be successfully restored between them.
Francis, from everything we've discussed, I see that you truly serve the Lord. I will consider your proposal, but your compatriots do not want peace.
Then I will pray for all of them, my lord.
It was not possible to bring peace to those two peoples. However, Francis already carried the peace of the Lord in his heart. Christmas was approaching and Francis arrived in Greccio.
Of course, Francisco. There's plenty of hay here, and if you need anything else, feel free to ask.
God bless you, sir. Fabricio. Brothers and sisters, the birth of Jesus was the most sublime moment in humanity. That's why we need to remember, to keep in our hearts everything he has done for us.
It's beautiful to hear that.
Come, my dear brothers and sisters. Let us relive Christmas.
Brother Francis, what is this peace? I've never felt anything like this in my entire life. This is the happiest night of my whole life.
May the Lord be praised. My dear brothers and sisters, Christmas night is the most sublime moment in humanity because it brought to life the light of the world, the one who guided us through the prophets, doing good in many ways. He wanted to come to serve us personally. He wanted to walk with us, to live our pains so he could help us. And he is born in a manger. Simple, without drawing attention to himself, humble and with nothing. May the birth of Jesus warm our hearts so that we may reflect this humble Jesus in our own lives.
After the sublime Christmas night, Francis bids farewell to Greccio with his heart filled with the presence of Jesus. A long time had passed since the day he first heard the Lord's voice. And since then, Francis always remained faithful to the ways of the gospel. To be the least, to serve and not to be served, to fade into the background before the good he did. This was the light that filled Francis's soul and guided his every step. In everything, Jesus' way of life and his teachings were his greatest nourishment. However, with Francis's absence, Sister Humility was gradually asked to withdraw from the daily life of the Friars Minor.
Hello, brother.
Francisco. Thank God I managed to find you. Brother.
Giovanni.
What a joy to see you. Brother Francisco, unfortunately, I don't bring good news. We haven't had any news from you in many months.
And because of that, some brothers have made many changes in our family.
I understand.
Brothers, didn't you share what you had with those who needed it most? We don't need to anymore. We have new guidelines now.
Now they seem to live much more in an outward way, leaving simplicity aside. Some distractions started to appear, and the time spent serving those who needed it most no longer existed.
Brother, why do you have that bag?
Well, to keep my belongings in.
But we don't have belongings.
Ah, that was before.
Now we can have them, yes.
They even built a monastery. Francis arrives in Assisi and goes to talk to Brother Elias.
Francis, we haven't heard from you in months. That's why we made changes to the rules. We need to change, Francis.
Where was that Franciscan spirit from the early years? To understand what to do, Francis seeks out nature to pray.
Beloved most Master Jesus, my dear, what should I do now? My brothers want new rules, but I only know how to follow in your footsteps.
The Lord says that the path has already been shown and that it is up to each one to make their own choice. Francis was at peace, not the peace of the world, but the peace that the Lord said he would leave us.
Brother Elias, living the gospel is our only rule. I will talk to the others to see what we will do. I understand. May the Lord enlighten you, Brother Elias.
Francis goes to Mount Alverna to look even deeper within himself and pray. The light of Jesus becomes even more present upon him. It is at this moment that something wonderful happens. His body bears a sign that speaks of his deep communion with Jesus. and that would make it clear to everyone how much Francis carried within him the ways of
Whom do you desire to follow? Listening to the voice of the Lord, you chose whom you would serve, and let the light lead you on. A little church you rebuilt, you sheltered those with no home. Your heart was always set on serving, and you learned to love the lepers too. You became our little brother, building a way of life to live. You are our brother, Francis. Here you are, coming to our aid.
Francis, let us go to the place I have prepared for you.
Jesus.
Despite the changes that many little brothers brought about, some others remained on the same paths as Francis.
Forgiving is always the best choice for our lives.
I understand, Brother Egidio.
Anthony was one of them. In Padua, with the fruit of his labor, he managed to free many men from prison who could not pay their debts. And many noble ladies, moved by the way Francis and Claire lived, served those most in need. And that is how the Third Order of Saint Francis came to be. 20 years later, Claire still kept the Franciscan spirit alive. She was the one who served the sisters the most and considered herself the least among them all. Now she could no longer leave the convent. However, many people came to her asking for help.
Sister Claire, my son has had a fever since yesterday.
Could you say a prayer to help us?
In everything Claire would pray to Mary and Jesus so that good would be granted. Claire departs, but her light would remain shining, illuminating the steps of all the sisters. She would forever be our clear light.
me close within your arms through all my journey. With your presence, you shelter me as I walk. You are my shining light in my life, Jesus. You inspire my heart with your gentle light. You draw me into prayer with your presence. You shelter me as I walk. You are my shining light. May my gaze find the path of humility. Wherever I go, may I follow sisterly kindness. Oh, presence shelters me. You are my shining light. Your presence shelters me. You are my shining light. Your presence shelters me. You are my shining light.
Sister Clara.
Francisco! Is that really you? I don't believe.
Yes, Clara, look. We are in the Father's house.